Imagine this. You're sitting in a quiet cafe, sipping your coffee, scrolling through your phone. Everything feels normal. People are chatting, typing, laughing. But what you don't see is the invisible world swirling around you. A world where billions of tiny digital messages are flying through the air every second. Some are harmless, some are dangerous, and some are quietly trying to break into your device without you ever noticing. Now picture this. A hacker sitting just a few tables away opens a laptop. On the screen, streams of network traffic appear like glowing rivers of data. He isn't breaking passwords. He isn't writing malware. He's simply watching the digital doors your device leaves open. Watching the ports you didn't know existed, watching the protocols your apps use, watching the attack surfaces you never realized you were exposing. And in that moment, your device becomes a house with unlocked windows, open gates, and a front door that doesn't fully close. Today, we're going to change that. Welcome to Knowitrix, and welcome to Module 4, Technical Foundations, where we break down the invisible world of network security in a way that even a complete beginner can understand. No jargon, no complexity, just clarity, real-world examples, and powerful visuals that will stay with you forever. Every device you own, your phone, laptop, smart TV, smartwatch, even your Wi-Fi router, is constantly talking to the internet. This communication happens through digital pathways that most people never think about. What hackers think about them every day, because these pathways are where opportunities appear, opportunities to sneak in, opportunities to steal, opportunities to disrupt. Network security is not just a technical topic. It's the foundation of digital safety. It's the difference between a secure home and a home with open doors. It's the difference between privacy and exposure. It's the difference between safety and vulnerability. And the best part? You don't need to be a tech expert to understand it. You just need the right explanations. So in this module, we're going to break down 4 essential concepts. Ports, the digital doors of your device. Protocols, the rules that decide how data travels. Traffic, the flow of information moving across networks. Attack surfaces, the places where hackers try to break in. By the end of this series, you will understand how networks work, how hackers exploit them, and how companies and individuals can protect themselves using simple, practical steps. Let's begin with the most misunderstood concept in network security, ports. To understand ports, imagine your device as a large apartment building. Inside this building, every app, service, and function is like a different room. One room handles email, another handles web browsing, another handles video calls, another handles file sharing. Each room has its own purpose, its own occupants, and its own rules. But here's the important part. Each room also has a door, and these doors are called ports. A port is not a physical object. You can't touch it or see it. But it is a digital entry point that allows data to enter or leave your device. Think of it as a numbered doorway. There are 65,535 possible ports, each with a number, each with a purpose. Some ports are well known and used by everyday services. Some ports are rarely used. Some ports are dangerous if left open. Some ports are constantly scanned by hackers looking for weaknesses. Let's break this down with a real-world analogy. Analogy: your device as a house. Imagine your device is a house with 65,535 doors. Most of these doors are locked. Some are open because you need them. Some are open because you forgot to close them. Some are open because an app opened them without telling you. Some are open because malware forced them open. Now imagine hackers walking down your street, checking every house, gently turning each doorknob to see which doors open. That is exactly what happens on the internet. Hackers constantly scan ports on millions of devices looking for open doors. They don't need to break in. They just need to find a door that someone forgot to lock. Real-world example, port 80 and port 443. When you open a website, your browser uses two common ports. Port 80 for unencrypted websites, port 443 for encrypted HTTPS websites. These ports must remain open for the internet to work. They are like your front door. You need them for visitors. But here's the catch. If a hacker finds a vulnerability in the service running behind these ports, they can exploit it. This is why companies constantly update their web servers. A single outdated service behind port 80 or 443 can lead to a massive breach. Practical demonstration. Imagine a screen showing a device with 65,535 tiny doors. Most are gray, closed. A few are green, open. A hacker's scanner sweeps across them like a radar. Suddenly, one door glows red, an open port running an outdated service. That red door is all the hacker needs. Case study, the WannaCry attack. In 2017, the WannaCry ransomware attack spread across the world in hours. Hospitals, banks, telecom companies, all hit. The reason? A single open port, port 445. Port 445 is used for file sharing on Windows systems. Many organizations had left it open to the internet. Hackers exploited a vulnerability in the service behind that port. Within minutes, entire networks were encrypted. This is why understanding ports is not optional. It is essential. Now that you understand what ports are, let's talk about how to manage them safely. Port scanning tools. Security teams use tools like Nmap, Mascan, and Nmap. These tools scan devices to identify which ports are open, what services are running, and if there are any vulnerabilities. A firewall is like a security guard standing outside your house, deciding which doors should stay open and which should stay locked. Modern firewalls can block unnecessary ports, detect suspicious activity, and prevent unauthorized access. Principle of least privilege. Only open the ports you absolutely need. If an application doesn't require a port, close it to reduce security risks. Regular audits. Companies should perform monthly or quarterly port audits to ensure no unexpected ports are open. Frequent auditing reduces the risk of unauthorized access through forgotten or unknown ports. Common mistakes people make with ports. Mistake 1. Leaving default ports open. Many apps use default ports. Hackers know these defaults. If you don't change or secure them, you become an easy target. Mistake 2. Forgetting to close ports after testing. Developers often open ports temporarily and forget to close them. Hackers love this, as forgotten open ports are an easy way in. Mistake 3. Exposing sensitive ports to the internet. Ports like 22, SSH, 3389, RDP, and 445, SMB, should never be exposed publicly because they are prime targets for attacks. Actionable steps for learners. Understand the purpose of common ports. Practice scanning your own network using safe tools, and learn how firewalls work for better security awareness. Actionable steps for companies. Implement strict firewall rules, disable unused services, conduct regular vulnerability scans, and use intrusion detection systems as part of a strong network security plan. End of Part 1. Ports are the digital doors of the internet. In Part 2, we explore protocols, the rules that decide how data travels, how devices communicate, and how hackers exploit weak communication channels. Section 2. Protocols. The languages and rules of the internet. If ports are the doors of your digital house, then protocols are the languages spoken through those doors. They are the rules, grammar, structure, and etiquette that devices follow when they communicate. Without protocols, the internet would be chaos, a world where devices shout at each other in random languages, unable to understand or trust anything. Imagine every country using different languages, road rules, and traffic laws. Protocols solve this problem in the digital world. They create standardized rules so every device, whether it's a phone in India, a server in the US, or a smart fridge in Japan, can communicate clearly and safely. Let's break this down in a way that makes sense, even if you've never touched a networking textbook. A protocol is simply an agreed-upon set of rules that devices follow when exchanging data. These rules define how to start a conversation, how to format the data, how to send the data, how to confirm the data was received, how to end the conversation, and how to handle errors. Think of it like a phone call. When you call someone, you don't just start shouting. You follow a structure. You say hello. You introduce yourself. You explain why you're calling. You exchange information. You confirm the details. You say goodbye. Protocols work the same way. They ensure that communication is predictable, organized, and secure. Imagine you walk into a room where people are speaking English, Hindi, Tamil, French, and Japanese. If you don't speak their language, you can't communicate. But if everyone agrees to speak English, suddenly communication becomes easy. Protocols are the languages of the internet. HTTP is one language. HTTPS is another. FTP is another. DNS is another. SMTP is another. Each protocol has its own purpose, its own rules, and its own strengths and weaknesses. Hackers don't just attack devices. They attack the protocols those devices use. If a protocol is outdated, misconfigured, or insecure, it becomes a perfect entry point. This is why understanding protocols is essential, not just for cybersecurity professionals, but for anyone who uses the internet. Let's explore the most important protocols you interact with every day, even if you don't realize it. Every time you open a website, your browser uses either HTTP or HTTPS. HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, is the original protocol used for browsing the web. It sends data in plain text. That means anyone who intercepts the traffic can read it. Imagine sending a postcard through the mail. Anyone who handles it can read your message. That's HTTP. HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, encrypts the data before sending it. Even if someone intercepts it, they can't read it. This is like sending a sealed envelope instead of a postcard. Today, HTTPS is the standard. Browsers even warn you when a site uses HTTP because it's considered unsafe. A cybersecurity researcher once demonstrated how easy it is to steal data on public Wi-Fi. He sat in a Starbucks, connected to the free Wi-Fi, and used a simple tool to intercept HTTP traffic. Within minutes, he captured login forms, search queries, email drafts, session cookies. All because the websites were using HTTP instead of HTTPS. This is why modern websites must use HTTPS. It protects users from eavesdropping, session hijacking, and data theft. DNS, Domain Name System, is one of the most important protocols in the world and one of the least understood. When you type google.com into your browser, your device doesn't know what that means. Devices only understand IP addresses like 142.250.190. DNS translates human-friendly names into machine-friendly addresses. Think of DNS as the internet's phone book. You look up a name, and DNS gives you the number. But here's the problem. DNS was originally designed without security in mind. It can be hijacked, poisoned, or manipulated. In 2019, hackers compromised DNS servers of several major telecom companies. They changed the DNS records so that users trying to visit legitimate websites were silently redirected to malicious ones. People typed the correct website. Their browser showed the correct URL, but they landed on a fake site. This attack didn't break into devices. It broke into the protocol that devices rely on. TCP and UDP are the two main protocols that decide how data is delivered. TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, TCP is like a courier service that guarantees delivery. It checks every packet, confirms receipt, and resends anything that gets lost. This is used for web browsing, email, file downloads. UDP, User Datagram Protocol. UDP is like sending a message by throwing paper airplanes. There is no guarantee they will arrive, but it's fast. This is used for video streaming, online gaming, voice calls. Hackers love UDP because it's easy to spoof and flood. FTP is used to transfer files between devices, but it sends everything in plain text, including usernames and passwords. This makes FTP extremely dangerous if used over the internet. Modern alternatives like SFTP and FTPS encrypt the data, making them much safer. SMTP is the protocol used to send emails, but here's the shocking truth. SMTP was never designed with security in mind. This is why email spoofing is easy, phishing is common, attackers can impersonate anyone. Modern email systems add layers like SPF, DKIM, and DMARC to secure SMTP, but many companies still misconfigure them. Security teams use a variety of tools to analyze and secure protocols. Wireshark, a powerful tool that captures and analyzes network traffic. It shows every packet, every protocol, every detail. Burp Suite is used for testing web protocols like HTTP and HTTPS. It helps identify vulnerabilities in websites and APIs. OpenVAS and Nessus scanners detect insecure protocols, outdated services, and misconfigurations. Suricata and Snort are intrusion detection systems that monitor protocol behavior and detect attacks. Common mistakes people make with protocols. Many companies continue using outdated protocols such as FTP, Telnet, and HTTP, even though they are now considered insecure. Relying on these older protocols exposes sensitive information and creates serious vulnerabilities in organizational networks. Misconfiguring secure protocols. HTTPS is safe only if configured correctly. Using a weak certificate or outdated encryption makes the protocol vulnerable to attacks, defeating the purpose of moving away from insecure options. Proper setup is critical to maintaining security. Ignoring DNS security. DNS, the address book of the internet, is often overlooked, making it a prime target for attackers. Weak DNS security can allow attackers to hijack traffic, redirect users to malicious sites, or intercept sensitive data unnoticed. Assuming encryption solves everything. Even encrypted protocols can be exploited if their implementation is weak. Encryption alone is not enough. The way it's deployed and managed matters, and attackers look for flaws or shortcuts in the encryption process. Actionable steps for learners and companies. For learners, study how common protocols work. Practice capturing traffic with Wireshark. Learn the difference between secure and insecure protocols. Understand how encryption protects data. For companies, disable outdated protocols. Enforce HTTPS everywhere. Implement DNS security like DNSSEC, DOH, or DOT. Use strong TLS configurations. Monitor protocol behavior with IDS tools to detect and prevent attacks effectively. Protocols are the languages of the internet. In Part 3, we explore traffic, how data flows, how attackers manipulate it, and how organizations monitor and secure it. This sets the stage for understanding how communication happens across networks. Section 3. Network traffic, the lifeblood of the digital world. If ports are the doors and protocols are the languages, then traffic is the actual movement of information across the network. It represents how data travels from one device to another. It is the flow of data packets traveling from one device to another, carrying everything from your WhatsApp messages to your bank transactions, your Netflix streams, your GPS updates, your emails, your video calls, and even the silent background communication your apps perform without your knowledge. Traffic is the bloodstream of the internet. It never stops. It never sleeps. It never slows down unless something is wrong. Like blood in the human body, traffic can be healthy, unhealthy, infected, blocked, or manipulated. Understanding traffic is one of the most important skills in cybersecurity because attackers rarely appear out of nowhere. They appear in the traffic. They hide in the traffic. They disguise themselves as normal traffic. And if you know how to read the flow, you can detect them long before they cause damage. Let's break this down in a way that makes sense even if you've never analyzed a packet in your life. Analogy. Imagine a massive highway system with millions of cars, trucks, buses, and motorcycles moving in every direction. Each vehicle has a destination. Each follows a route. Each carries something inside: passengers, goods, or empty space. Now imagine you're a traffic officer watching this highway from above. You see vehicles moving at different speeds, entering and exiting through ramps, stopping at toll booths, merging into lanes, breaking rules, and even vehicles that look suspicious. This is exactly how network traffic works, with data packets behaving like vehicles, moving, stopping, merging, leaving, obeying, or breaking rules. Some may look suspicious but blend in until closely examined, mirroring real network scenarios. Every packet of data is like a vehicle. Every packet has a source, where it came from, a destination, where it's going, a protocol, the rules it follows, a payload, the content it carries, a route, the path it takes. When traffic flows normally, everything works smoothly. When traffic becomes abnormal, something is wrong. To understand traffic, you must understand packets. A packet is a small chunk of data that travels across the network. Large files, videos, emails, and messages are all broken into thousands or millions of packets. Each packet contains a header, instructions, a payload, the actual data, a checksum, error detection. Think of a packet like a shipping box. The label tells the courier where to deliver it. The contents are what you actually want to send. Hackers often manipulate the label, the contents, or both. Network traffic can be categorized in many ways, but the most important distinctions for beginners are 1. Inbound traffic, 2. Outbound traffic, 3. Lateral traffic. Inbound traffic. This is traffic coming into your device or network. It includes website responses, incoming emails, remote connections, file downloads. Inbound traffic is where many attacks originate because attackers try to send malicious data into your system. Outbound traffic. This is traffic leaving your device or network. It includes web requests, uploads, API calls, software updates. Outbound traffic can reveal infections. For example, malware often sends stolen data to a remote server. Lateral traffic. This is traffic moving within a network. It includes device-to-device communication, server-to-server communication, internal file sharing. Hackers love lateral traffic because once they enter a network, they move sideways to find valuable targets. One of the most famous cyber attacks in history happened because of traffic, specifically lateral traffic. Hackers first entered targets' network through a small HVAC vendor. Once inside, they moved laterally through the network, scanning traffic and identifying valuable systems. They eventually reached the payment processing servers. From there, they captured millions of credit card numbers. The attack wasn't detected because the traffic looked normal. It blended in. It didn't raise alarms. This is why traffic monitoring is essential. Traffic doesn't move randomly. It follows structured paths. Switching, local movement. Switches move traffic within a local network, like inside your home or office. They decide which device should receive which packet. Routing, global movement. Routers move traffic between networks, like from your home to the internet. They decide the best path for packets to travel. Hackers often exploit routers and switches because controlling traffic means controlling communication. Imagine a digital map showing packets as glowing dots moving across lines. Some move smoothly, some move erratically, some move in unexpected directions. Some suddenly spike in volume. A red cluster appears, a sign of suspicious traffic. This is how security teams visualize threats. Most cyber attacks reveal themselves through abnormal traffic patterns. Here are some examples. 1. Sudden spikes in outbound traffic. This often indicates data exfiltration, stolen data being sent out. 2. Repeated requests to unknown IPs. This may indicate malware communicating with a command and control server. 3. Large volumes of traffic from a single device. This could be a compromised device participating in a DDoS attack. 4. Traffic on unusual ports. This often indicates backdoors or unauthorized services. Encrypted traffic where it shouldn't exist. Attackers sometimes encrypt malicious traffic to hide it. Traffic never lies. It always reveals what's happening, if you know how to read it. Security teams use powerful tools to inspect, analyze, and monitor traffic. Wireshark, the most popular packet analysis tool. It captures every packet and shows source, destination, protocol, payload, flags, errors. It's like having X-ray vision for network traffic. Zeek, formerly Bro, a network security monitoring framework that analyzes traffic behavior and detects anomalies. Suricata and Snort, intrusion detection systems that inspect traffic in real time and alert on suspicious patterns. NetFlow, SFlow, technologies used to analyze traffic volume, direction, and behavior across large networks. Firewall logs. Firewalls record traffic allowed or blocked. These logs are gold mines for detecting attacks. Ignoring outbound traffic. Most people only monitor inbound threats, forgetting that malware sends data out. Assuming encrypted traffic is safe, attackers often hide inside encrypted channels. Not segmenting networks. When networks are flat, attackers move freely. Relying only on firewalls. Firewalls block known threats, but advanced attacks require deeper traffic analysis. Not updating routers and switches. Outdated network devices are easy targets. For learners, practice capturing traffic with Wireshark. Learn to identify normal versus abnormal patterns. Study how protocols appear in traffic. Understand how malware communicates. For companies, implement continuous traffic monitoring. Use IDS, IPS systems. Segment networks to limit lateral movement. Analyze outbound traffic for signs of compromise. Set up alerts for unusual traffic patterns. Regularly update network devices. Traffic is the heartbeat of your network. If you learn to read it, you can detect attacks before they happen. Traffic is the lifeblood of the internet and the first place attackers reveal themselves. In Part 4, we explore attack surfaces, the final and most critical concept. We'll break down how hackers choose targets, how vulnerabilities appear, how companies reduce exposure, and how you can protect yourself. Part 4 will also include the powerful summary plus final call to action. Section 4. Attack surfaces, where hackers strike first. If ports are the doors, protocols are the languages, and traffic is the movement, then attack surfaces are the places where hackers look for weaknesses. They are the digital equivalent of cracks in a building, loose windows, weak locks, or blind spots in a security camera system. Every device, every network, every application, and every user has an attack surface, a collection of points where an attacker can attempt to break in. Understanding attack surfaces is one of the most important skills in cybersecurity because it teaches you how hackers think. Hackers don't attack randomly. They attack strategically. They look for the easiest entry point, the weakest link, the forgotten system, the outdated software, the misconfigured service, or the human who can be tricked. To understand attack surfaces, you must understand one truth. Security is not about protecting everything. It's about reducing exposure. The smaller your attack surface, the harder it is for attackers to succeed. Let's break this down in a way that makes sense even if you've never worked in cybersecurity before. Analogy: a castle with multiple entry points. Imagine a medieval castle. It has a main gate, side entrances, underground tunnels, windows, guard towers, storage rooms, water wells, secret passages. Each of these is an entry point. Some are heavily guarded, some are forgotten, some are hidden, some are weak. A smart attacker doesn't try to break down the main gate. They look for the unguarded tunnel. They look for the window left open. They look for the guard who fell asleep. Your digital systems work the same way. Your attack surface is the sum of all possible entry points. What exactly is an attack surface? An attack surface is the total number of ways an attacker can interact with your system, intentionally or unintentionally. This includes open ports, exposed services, public-facing applications, APIs, user accounts, passwords, devices, software vulnerabilities, misconfigurations, human behavior. Every one of these is a potential doorway. Every one of these must be understood and managed. Types of attack surfaces. To make this concept crystal clear, let's break attack surfaces into three major categories. 1. Digital attack surface. This includes everything connected to your network or the internet. It covers servers, websites, APIs, databases, cloud services, email systems, IoT devices, mobile apps, software vulnerabilities, misconfigured firewalls, exposed ports. The digital attack surface is the most commonly targeted because it is the most visible. Hackers scan the internet constantly, looking for systems that respond in unexpected ways. This includes the physical components of your environment. It covers office buildings, server rooms, USB ports, unlocked computers, lost devices, tailgating, following someone into a secure area, unsecured Wi-Fi routers, public charging stations. Physical attacks are often underestimated, but they are extremely effective. A single USB drive plugged into a computer can compromise an entire network. This is the most dangerous and the most unpredictable. It includes employees, contractors, vendors, customers, anyone with access. Humans can be tricked, manipulated, or deceived. This is why social engineering is one of the most successful attack methods in the world. Phishing, vishing, smishing, impersonation, and pretexting all target the human attack surface. In 2020, several high-profile Twitter accounts, including Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Barack Obama, were hacked. The attackers didn't break into Twitter's servers. They didn't exploit a software vulnerability. They didn't bypass firewalls. They targeted the human attack surface. The attackers called Twitter employees pretending to be IT support. They convinced them to share internal credentials. Once inside, they accessed admin tools and posted fraudulent messages. This attack proved one thing: even the most advanced systems can fall if the human attack surface is weak. Hackers follow a systematic approach when analyzing attack surfaces. They don't guess, they map, they observe, they test, they exploit. Hackers gather information about the target. They look for open ports, public IP addresses, employee names, email formats, technology stacks, cloud providers, exposed APIs. This is like studying the blueprint of a building before breaking in. Hackers use tools to scan for vulnerabilities. They check which ports are open, which services are running, which versions are outdated, which configurations are weak. This is like checking every door and window to see which one opens. Hackers dig deeper into the systems they discovered. They identify user accounts, directories, file structures, hidden services. This is like exploring the inside of the building once they find a way in. Hackers use vulnerabilities to gain access. This could be a weak password, an outdated service, a misconfigured firewall, a vulnerable API. This is the moment they break in. Security teams use many tools to identify and reduce attack surfaces. Here are some of the most important ones: Nmap, Shodan, Burp Suite, Nessus, OpenVAS, Bloodhound, and cloud security platforms like Wiz, Prisma Cloud, and Lacework. Nmap is used to scan networks and identify open ports and services. Shodan is a search engine that finds internet-connected devices, including vulnerable ones. Burp Suite is used to test web applications and APIs for weaknesses. Nessus and OpenVAS are vulnerability scanners that identify outdated software and misconfigurations. Bloodhound is used to map Active Directory attack paths. Cloud security tools help identify misconfigurations in cloud environments before attackers do. These tools help organizations understand their exposure before attackers do. By proactively identifying vulnerabilities and misconfigurations, security teams can reduce the ways attackers might gain access to their systems. Many organizations unintentionally expand their attack surfaces. Here are some of the most common mistakes: leaving unused services running, using default passwords, misconfigured cloud storage, not patching software, overprivileged user accounts, flat networks, and ignoring shadow IT. Every unnecessary service left running is an unnecessary risk to the system. Attackers are familiar with every default password ever created, making default credentials a major security vulnerability. Millions of sensitive files have been leaked because cloud storage buckets were left exposed to the public. Outdated, unpatched systems are the easiest targets for attackers and often provide an entry point. Overprivileged user accounts mean people have access they don't need. Flat networks make it easy for attackers to move laterally. Ignoring shadow IT when employees install unauthorized apps creates unexpected vulnerabilities. For learners, study how attackers think, practice scanning your own network safely, learn how to identify misconfigurations, understand the importance of least privilege, and explore tools like Nmap and Wireshark to build your skills. For companies, conduct regular attack surface assessments, patch systems quickly, disable unused services, enforce strong authentication, segment networks, implement zero-trust architecture, train employees on social engineering, and monitor cloud configurations continuously. Reducing attack surfaces is not a one-time task. It is a continuous process, a mindset. Security must be maintained proactively to stay ahead of emerging threats and reduce exposure over time. You've just learned the 4 pillars of network security fundamentals: ports, the digital doors of your device; protocols, the languages and rules of communication; traffic, the flow of data across networks; and attack surfaces, the places where hackers strike. These concepts are not just technical details, they are the foundation of cybersecurity. They are the difference between a secure system and a vulnerable one. When you understand them, you understand how the digital world truly works. When you understand ports, you see how attackers enter. When you understand protocols, you see how communication can be manipulated. When you understand traffic, you see how to detect threats. When you understand attack surfaces, you know how to prevent attacks before they happen. This knowledge empowers you. It gives you clarity. It gives you confidence. It gives you the ability to protect yourself, your company, and your future. If this video opened your eyes to how the digital world really works, imagine what you'll learn next. Cybersecurity is not just a skill, it is a superpower. and you're building it one module at a time. So here's what you do now. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, share this video with someone who needs to understand cybersecurity, and follow Knowitrix for more deep, cinematic, beginner-friendly tech education. Because the world is changing fast, threats are evolving, technology is accelerating, and the people who understand it will shape the future. You're one of them now. Welcome to Knowitrix, where knowledge becomes power.